Hello, you beautiful stars. Courtney here with Stars of the Morning Light. Thank you all for joining the chat and hitting that thumbs up. Today we have Dajni. She is one of our new readers for the New Earth Energy Market happening April 29th. And I'm excited. She's blown up on TikTok and trying to move over to YouTube. So go right now. Sleepywtichtarot, right? Is that the right title for it on YouTube? Okay. Because I know all the different platforms make you kind of type it in different and do this. But ladies and gentlemen, she is Sleepy Witch Tarot. How'd you come up with that name, by the way?
So I'm gonna be honest, I'm a gamer, so I play video games a lot. So my gamer tag is something similar to that. And I just used it and transferred it over. But yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, we ask here at Stars of the Morning Light, before we even really get into the thing, we ask every time somebody's new to the program, what is your personal definition of awakening?
So awakening to me is actually coming one with your soul and realizing the external forces out in the world that coincide and have synchronicities, and like listening to your intuition and listening to the world and nature and other people and how you already predestined to meet some people. And to be awoke is to understand that and that aspect of spirituality. It doesn't matter what religion that you are, becoming awake is actually becoming one with the earth.
Oh my gosh. You beautiful stars. I think that's the first time somebody said that. Oh, I'm really liking that. And I'm sure everybody out there right now is like, yes. I think you are the first one who said becoming one with the earth, all the natural energies and kind of what we originally were always supposed to be. Oh my goodness. How do you do that then? How do you personally do that?
I just wake up every day and try to maintain a healthy, motivated life and spread awareness and positivity and love. Being in a high vibrational state is also really good, not downing or staying in the low vibe emotions such as fear, guilt, grief, sadness, despair, and just trying to be positive every day. And as human beings, you're going to have those negative attributes show up in your life, no matter what. So the object is to stay as positive as you can and to be thankful and just push a lot of faith out into the universe and see what comes back. That's what I do. But I always uplift everybody because it's just the energy. It's the energy you play by it.
Yeah, you're understanding like with hermetics, correspondence or rhythm or reciprocity, putting that energy out there, it comes back to you. Definitely. That's, I mean, some would refer to it as how you manifest that, but that's lovely. How do you connect with the earth?
I do grounding. I do my because I do practice. So I do my own like full moon ritual because we are still in the full moon energy right now. I do my self-care. I do my self-love. I try to get out and enjoy like the energy of the earth, like go barefoot in the grass, let the rain fall on me, enjoy it, try to release energy and manifest every chance that I can. That's legitimate what I do.
Yeah. Do you find that that works? I mean, like, sincerely, for those who are listening right now, do you find that it's true? Because, you know, you see so many memes, you see so much this, do you find that because it is all energy that if what you put out, you receive?
Definitely 1000% for any of the people who don't believe in manifesting, try doing the manifestation of the blue feather. I don't know if you ever seen it or heard it, the blue feather. It's like something wild, something you would never like randomly like see it on your daily life.
What is
Manifest something.
like?
So the object is to, it's actually a story by somebody and it's like fell down line and thousands of people have done it. So you manifest a blue feather, like you never see a blue feather, and you never know. It could be on a bumper sticker on a car, in an infomercial or commercial, or an actual object type of feather. It could be in your path or given to you. You can manifest anything. One of my biggest ones that I used to manifest is envelopes. Doesn't matter what's in it. Just manifest an envelope and have the color down, what the size of the envelope is, and every day use like, I'm going to receive the envelope. And as you were thinking that, you're already being grateful for you receiving it, even when you don't already have it in your hand.
Right, right. So is the key to, start with a blue feather, and once you see that, receive it, then you slowly keep building and move on to other things?
Yeah. But it doesn't matter. I always say start out small. If you are new to manifesting, start out small, do little things. And as you progressively get stronger in your manifesting skills, you can start manifesting big things like career, money, dream jobs, soulmate, partnership, friendships. Manifest things that you would love to have in your life. But if you're new to the manifesting, you can do small, like blue feathers or butterflies, anything random.
Yeah, random. Yeah. Is that how so on TikTok, at least currently, you are, I guess, referenced as an influence. You have over 6,000 subscribers on TikTok. That is influencer status, I should say. Um, did you use your manifestation to make that happen?
Every day, like I'm so excited. I get so excited about it. Like every day, I'm always pushing. Like I try to stay within my realm because I am a niche. I'm a niche artist. I'm a niche creator. Not everybody enjoys tarot reading, and I try to involve a little bit of everything into the creator lifestyle on TikTok. But most of it is spirituality, and it's
Yeah,
trying to get people in touch with the energy that is within them, their spirit, and the energy within other people.
right. And yeah,
That's
as I've seen on TikTok or on YouTube, and stars right now, as we're talking, Sleepy Witch Tarot. Just plug it in, hit subscribe, ring her bell, just go for it right now as we're talking, please, because her YouTube is low because she just started it, and we want to help her move along. That's also reciprocity energy, do something good for somebody else. So please, right now, as we're talking, I know you can still hear us. So with it, because you mostly use tarot, and I like your readings, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's start there. Let's go. I was gonna jump ahead, and now I got to go back. When did you start working with tarot?
So I'm gonna be honest. When I was 12 years old, my aunt taught me how to read people's fortune with a deck of playing cards.
Okay.
And
Okay.
like that's how I learned it. I never learned through actual tarot. It wasn't until I was like 27, 28 when I actually received my first tarot deck. But I started out doing as a party favor or a party trick, and just show and tell people's fortunes with a deck of cards. And it just gradually grew from there. When I was doing that, I grew up like super like Christian, and I never felt the energy in that. I mean, if you do, that's for you. I don't really speak about religion. But I found it as I got older and more wise, the energy and having faith in the universe and having faith in a higher power or a deity, and pushing my energy out there and see what comes back. But it's gradually got more and more and more and more every day. Like I feel intuitively and psychically stronger every day that I'm more in the spirituality than when I was younger, just doing it as a party trick or favor. I don't know if it's because I'm wiser or I have more faith, or I'm still learning. I'm still a baby in this, but I'm just growing every day.
I
But
love
I
Dashni. Can I ask you said your aunt taught you by playing cards.
Yes.
That most people don't even come around, like, get to have a reading by that anymore these days. It's an old way of doing it. Um, I personally, I've had readings done that way. I knew women that did it, and sometimes that's even more powerful, in my opinion, than a tarot. So having that being done when you were such a young child, 12 years old or so, do you think that opened the door for you? And may I ask, so this is like a two-parter,
Okay.
um, can you feel the difference or see a difference with the two different kind of readings?
Yeah, see, doing a deck of playing cards is kind of like, I don't know, bland. There's not a lot of artists or like illustrations on it. So you psychically have to intuitively get messages more strongly off of doing deck of playing cards than you would like the more illustrated type of cards. Because some of the illustrations on the cards that I use, I have like a good 60 tarot decks now, maybe more than that. I'm a collector. Um, some of the artwork on the cards just send me to a different realm, and I feel that's where I tap into my psychic abilities is by looking at the pictures. Because ever since I was a child, I always knew I had a very strong imagination, and that is where some of my psychic abilities lie, is within my imagination and being so open and creating an open world inside my mind through my mind's eye. Um, but I do feel like it influenced me to do tarot, learning that at such a young age. But I'm very appreciative of it, and I always knew that I had a gift ever since I was a young age. But using tarot through my gift, it makes it stronger. I don't know. It's just something that I sense within my bones, within my mind, is that it just makes it stronger. But I really love the illustration on the cards. I still occasionally, but rarely, use a deck of playing cards to do fortune telling. But now I just love the artwork. I just love the new decks.
Yeah. I for those who might use playing cards, what I've seen over the years is that they'll pull them out to be like clarifiers in a
Yeah.
reading. Whenever you see that, the other person receiving the reading is like, that's a deck of cards, you know. Um, I remember growing up with stuff like that, deck of cards instead of so much tarot. But yes, excellent. Um, you said you didn't start really getting into tarot until you're 27. I do have to say, my dear, you look 27. So
Thank
I'm sure
you.
the audience is like, is she time traveling? um, that imagination of yours, do you think that also ties into the ability of manifesting?
Um, I would say yes. I think because I don't know. There's a lot backstories into like the gifts and things, but I do feel like my imagination and being able to understand and perceive things without even seeing them or looking at them is a key player in me receiving psychic messages through like when I read for other people. Like I said, I've always had a strong imagination. It's almost like, I don't know, when I was younger, I used to imagine my own like happy world, like my own place. And I had details of everything within my happy place. And I still remember that to this day. I don't really um, dream about it or go to that place because I live a hectic life here lately. I'm busy, busy, busy gal. But I do believe having a strong imagination helps with being intuitive and picking out psychic information.
Okay. You've mentioned your gifts. What would you care to list them? You don't have
Okay.
to.
Yeah, I will do it. So, on the psychic playing field, we have clairaudience, which is clear hearing, psychic hearing, hearing messages from past loved ones and spirit and the divine. Um, One of the key players in this, to where I realized I was clairaudient, is when I was a child, I would lie in bed trying to go to sleep, and I would jerk out of my sleep before I even got to sleep because I heard my name being called.
Mm.
Like I would hear my name being called, and it happened repeatedly over my entire childhood. I get the ringing in the ears, and I'm very scientific in my approach. I'm like, well, could that be like a bee? Could that be like I think it's called tinnitus or something like that, where you have ringing in your ears? But the more I dived into my spirituality and found what common grounds and level that I was playing on, I learned a lot about ringing of the ears and how the human body is split in between the masculine and feminine side. Right side is masculine, left side is feminine. And if you have ringing in your left ear, that's feminine energy. It could be like a deity, a goddess, a passed away loved one who was female. Right side is masculine, male, God side, masculine attuned. And I learned just a lot of different information. I've read so many books trying to figure out what my gifts were and actually what they are. I think I have a good like 5-tier range of psychic abilities. My strongest is clairvoyance, and clairvoyance is seeing beyond. It's the spiritual gift of sight that is having sleeping premonitions, like having dreams when you are asleep and they end up coming to real life in your waking life. I also have these called daydreams. I call them daydreams, but usually daydreams is like vivid images, or it's almost like a movie playing sometimes, and are still images, A or B. It just works. It really depends on which gift do I get and what I get. And I get those in the daytime when I'm awake, when I'm at my job and I'm sitting there talking to a customer, because I work in customer service, and I could be talking to somebody and all of a sudden like their great aunt comes in and I get still images of that person. And I'm like, whoa, that's a lot of energy. I am a medium, but I don't do mediumship work because it is very draining and taxing on your body. So I commemorate anybody who does mediumship 10 out of 10. You're strong people if you do. Like, I just have clean senses of knowing. Like for instance, I get a gut feeling. My gut feeling is 99.9% right. The reason why I say 0.1, if I have fear or if I'm in a low vibing emotion and I get a gut feeling, it's never correct. And the more confident that I am in my belief in my senses, that like it's just second nature now. When I was starting out trying to divulge into my psychic abilities and realize and understand them, I'm like, well, I don't know about that. That could be like, that's not true. And it actually comes to be true. And I'm like, whoa, I got to start listening to myself. I got to listen to my gut instinct and my intuition more. To where now, if I get an image or anything, I just immediately, I'm like, yep, something's on the way. And it's because the more that I have worked in the side of spirituality, the more my faith has grown. Like when I was a baby, like when it comes to like spiritual psychic senses. And now I feel like I'm very wide open with perceiving things and understanding things.
May I ask, I almost called you Dagny, like, you beautiful stars. I'm going to be switching her name up a lot because of the spelling. And I guess there's 3 different variations you can say. The South, you're definitely from the South. We can hear it. And I will say, like my married last name is said like 3 different ways down here. So it's kind of like, I just roll with whatever they're going with. I have to say, sweetheart, it's very mature of you, in my opinion, to say, I can be a medium, but I don't go there. Because I often find a lot of people, when they realize that they have abilities, they become very interested in all sorts of stuff. And they're like, oh, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. And they're not realizing, as you said, mediumship can be very draining.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the freedom of choice, it's as if they don't allow themselves to have it. So I really wanted to hone in on that because I myself, I stopped doing any mediumship once I got into college, because I was working full-time, college full-time, and partying full-time. And they would just, I did not have time for that. So I just shut it all down, right? But it's because I knew I had that choice. I think a lot of people don't, when they come into knowing their abilities, they think because they have it, it means they're supposed to do it.
Yeah.
When not necessarily, not if it is too draining for you, not if you don't have the time to deal with it, as I kind of saw it. So I have to give kudos to you. And I wanted to highlight that because it happens so often in the spiritual community that once they're aware of it, they're running with way too much, and then it's burnout, and then it's sloppy, and then it can become dangerous even. In my
I do agree. Like, just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should.
right.
Like,
The fact that you know that, though, as you were saying, you were a babe in it and you're still growing, which we all are. The fact that you've already recognized that, to me, is like, oh, I like this one. Definitely. Do you think when you're doing readings, are you using more of the clear audio or the scene, I should say, the seeing and the hearing? So
it really depends. I have no like perception of the switch to where I can switch from one to the other. It's just boom. It's kind of like you having a bag of popcorn, you just throw it up in there. There's no way to catch all of the popcorn. So it's just as it comes because I channel energy. I read through energetic like vibes, basically. So if I was to read for you, I would pick up your energy from wherever it is. I've read for people in different countries. Like I just pick up the energy and I hone in on it. And when I hone in on it, I start channeling even more through the energy. And that's when sometimes I can hear like somebody's name being called, or I get names or expressions or phrases that somebody has said. And it's so wild because, you know, I still freak myself out and I'm like, whoa, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. I have a lot of stories and testimonies about reading for other people. I'm not trying to veer off track, but I tend to do that when I talk. It's just,
yeah, no, go for it.
I'm
Love you.
scatterbrained. So for instance, I had a follower who requested a read, and she was like, I just want a general read. I was like, okay. When I started reading for this woman, I got two names immediately, Margaret Ann and Mary Ann. Both. I'm like, why would I get that? Maybe it's just MA. The initials could be just MA because sometimes psychically when I get stuff, it could be around that name. It could look like that name. It doesn't always have to be that name. She goes, I don't know who you're talking about. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm wrong. Cause you know what? I'm not Nostradamus, and even Nostradamus was only 78.8% correct, something around those lines. I said, I am at fault as always. I'm still human. But she goes, okay, well, I'll just keep it in mind. I said, okay, that works. 2 days later, she texted me freaking out. I'm like, what's going on? And she said, so my long distance relationship, my fiance went to his parents' gravesite, right? And he showed me pictures of their gravestone. The grandmother's name was Margaret Ann and the mother's name was Mary Ann. And I was like, oh my God, I was freaking out. I was freaking out for her freaking out. And we were like, like, I do that. I don't know how. And I have been tapping more into the Akashic realm. And I do believe that's where I channel 90% of all of my information. Is just from the Akashic realm. And I do feel like my ancestors really help channel energy towards me and to me. There's been several instances to where, sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry for interrupting. Do you channel like with your guides? Do you talk with your guides, or is it more ancestral guides?
It's more ancestral guides. Like, for instance, I know you do Akashic work, or you talk about Akashic work.
Yeah.
But for instance, when I channel my Akashic realm, there is a mage there, and the mage is always in a velvet green, hooded, long cloak, I never see the mage's face, and but it's a library essentially, but it's almost like a conservatory. There's a lot of plants and books everywhere in my like Akashic realm because everybody has their own identity for their Akashic realm. That is my identity. And I've also heard plenty of people say that the mage or the guardian of the books is actually you. I've heard different theories and stories of it, but it's almost like a calm. It's every time I go to the Akashic realm, it's that I'm at peace. Like I'm completely chill.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I always see a lot of animals in my Akashic realm because it's like a conservatory and it's like outside, but inside there's a lot of like, I see a lot of like hawks and things like that around in my Akashic realm. I've never seen a cat. A lot of people say they see cats in their Akashic realm. I've never seen a cat. I always see birds.
Wow, that's nice. It sounds like a very lovely place. I've never had any animals where I go, but mine is not well, mine has shifted as well, but I've heard people say that as well, like animals or I've heard so many variations, and it is because it represents itself or presents itself the best for the reader, the one that they're communicating with. That's awesome. Um, when you're doing tarot, are you also connected to the Akash?
Not every time. I try, and I know this sounds maybe a little off for me, but I try not to go to the Akashic realm every time that I read. It's almost like when I go, I get instinctively downloads.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, that's enough because it does drain the energy as you try to meditate and channel into that different realm. It does drain you. It is taxing on you. So I only do it like once a week, once a month, but I feel like I get enough energy. I don't know if I'm subconsciously channeling it while I read tarot or not. See, there's a lot of my aspects and my abilities and gifts that I haven't like learned about. I just headline myself as a seer because, I have many different gifts that go along with the psychic abilities um, and
Maybe,
foreshadowing. So,
maybe your ancestors are just like the middleman, like they're communicating with the Akashic and then sending you the messages. It could be
um, I,
something with you with it. I've tried to explain that to people here that doing actual being in the Akashic and sustaining that can be taxing to the body. It can be. So they know all of them that are listening right now should know what you're talking about because they've been here with me for a while. So honestly, sweetheart, that also leads to your credibility that you know what you're talking about. So that's a plus. I wanted to point out to you too, because you're talking about the energies and so much energy. And plug the event real quick. Beautiful Stars, Sleepy Witch Tarot that you've already subscribed to. Thank you. Will be at the New Earth Energy Market, April 29th in Ringgold, Georgia, just 20 minutes south of Chattanooga, doing readings. I think you also have your jewelry to sell, maybe some crystals. I wanted to tell you at those kind of events, because there's a lot of energy and a lot of different energy, and you're around different healers, readers, this, that, all of us psychics kind of coming together in a lot of ways, or extreme empaths, I should say, as well. There is right behind it, right behind the event, there's like a nice little river walk that I tell people that definitely that are working it. If you need to walk away for a minute and go cleanse yourself and release and come back to center, go walk by the river. And so that's why I love the location so much, because it gives those that work it, knowing the energies, knowing what it's like for us to, hey, if you need to take 20 minutes, go walk at the river, come back, be at peace again, because it can be a lot.
mhm. Yeah, I try to shield myself. It's to where I meditate as I'm talking, like I'm meditating right now. Just it's a subconscious way, and I do this especially since I work public service. I
Mm,
channel an image, or a bubble around me of protection,
yes.
always. So
Yeah.
nobody's negative energy can penetrate my aura. And I also wear obsidian. That's one of my favorite crystals. I got carnelian on right now, but obsidian to absorb the negative energy and not absorb it into my aura.
Yeah. Yes. Excellent. Yeah. Excellent. I always talk to people about that too. And I don't think, I mean, and you can put that bubble around in the morning. If you need to, you can put that bubble definitely again before you walk into anywhere that has customer service, not against customer service, but stores, anywhere you can protect yourself. And I wish more people became more conscious of doing that, because we have to. All people really have to do that, because all those yeah. So okay, cool. Good. Because I do, when I put these things on, I think of all the individuals. I really do. I'm thinking about everybody, and how their energy can mix with other people's energy, and how this goes and how that goes, and if they need to walk away, that's available, and all sorts of stuff. And I thank you for signing up. um, I found, well, you were actually referred to me from someone, from Victor Gray and Jamie Gray, that um, I had never heard of you. So do you do you do private readings, or are you mostly just online stuff?
It's mostly online. I do private readings, but I don't try. I feel like right now I'm trying to just get my name and my brand out there. So I have not been doing so many private readings as I have been doing public readings and open like energy reads. Um, as far as I know, I'm just, like I said, I'm really busy. So I really don't have time to do private readings for now, but I will in the future.
You know what I like about your YouTube? Because I know YouTube better than TikTok. I'm not a TikToker. Um, what I like about them is, because I watch a lot of different tarot people. I mean, everybody does. Everybody kind of shops around, looks at things.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Even if you know how to read or not, you're like, oh, let me listen to this. What's going on with me? um, I like how you are putting them into categories of their signs, like their elements: fire signs, earth signs, water signs. I think you might be the first person I've ever seen do that. So kudos to you for kind of coming up with something that sets you apart, because I was looking at stuff and I went, oh, this is really cool. I'm going to listen to fire because I'm fire, but I'm also water. So now I got to listen to water, and um, that's different. I like that because it is incorporating what you originally said at the beginning: the natural elements, the energy of nature, all of it, reading to that, which also makes people have to acknowledge what elements they're attached to. That I'm
Yep.
happy with. Yeah.
And it makes people seek out and learn.
Yeah,
Knowledge is power.
definitely. I love that. What do you mind if I ask what sign you are? What your what?
I'm Cancer. My rising is Leo and my moon is Sagittarius. So I'm a water sign in between two fire signs.
Okay. 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 So I it's interesting. So when I put on events, I will tell you,
Excuse me.
if half the room is all water, like so many cancers. It's either water or fire. And thank goodness there's a sprinkle of earth around somewhere. Um, so many cancers. So I get that. My husband's a double Cancer and I'm a Leo. So I get what's kind of going on inside there with you. Um, that's lovely though, that at least I don't know. I'm always telling cancers, come on over. Come on over. Feel the confidence here because you can do it. Um, which is, I guess, what Leo does for cancers a lot. They boost their confidence. Um,
They're also attuned to the first house in astrology, which is also about appearance and ego and self.
yes, yes, that's confidence. But you know what is interesting with Leos, I will say, and you might want to know this because it being a part of you, is that it's not that case for Leos their entire life. Like they actually, usually there's a very rough, what would be referred to as like rite of passage into owning being a lion. And it's usually very rough. Now, if you can get through that rite of passage, yeah, the other side is confidence, but it's with that lion heart then, thinking about everyone. So it's not as easy. Everybody kind of is like, oh, Leos, they can just go out and do anything and they can be all over the place. No, it's not. It's a there's a rite of passage involved that's very difficult. Um, so that day, are you doing tarot readings for people or oracle readings? What decks do you think?
Well, I'm a very distinctive reader. I pull from probably about 10 decks if I feel urged to. It's whatever my intuition guides me to pull from. But most of the time, the more cards, the more energy that I get to like divulge into. But it's an equal mixture of oracle and tarot. I'm not just a strictly oracle reader, and I'm not strictly just a tarot reader. I love both. It's kind of like husband and wife. You have to have both.
Yeah, yeah. I was with a reader a few weeks ago and I said, and she's new to it. So it was kind of, and she was doing her thing and it was great. And I said, why don't you pull from that deck too? And no one had ever told her she could mix or that she could overlay and and so I was, well, she felt very grateful. So I'm happy to hear that you kind of just go with what your intuition says or what you're guided to create the reading that's supposed to be for that person. That's lovely. Definitely. I had another question, I think. Oh, so you're from down here? Are you
Yes,
from Chattanooga area?
yes. I'm born and raised.
Born and raised. Okay. And how do you feel about the metaphysical of this area?
Well, I live in the Bible Belt, and you do have a lot of Bible thumping conservative people who do think that crystals is negative energy and that speaking about energy is negative energy. And you do have a lot of people who look down upon people who try to find a different path for themselves. And honestly, I think that we need more. We need more.
Okay.
Um, we need more energy. We need more like healing areas. We need more groups that can do group meditation um, and bring positive awareness. Like you can even go to our local library. You won't find one book that has to do with any type of spirituality other than like Bibles and different religious Bibles. But there's
Yeah.
nothing out there. You have to buy your books yourself or go online and look.
Yeah, that's actually very true, folks. Like very, very true. Um, then how did you get your courage to wear the green hair and I do tarot and I speak of energy and this is who I am. My name is actually Sleepy Witch. Deal with it. How did
Yeah,
you?
deal with it. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you a story, and it starts from childhood. I have severe religious trauma. I'm not gonna lie, religious trauma that has to do with our area, and it's very common from where we're from. Um, and I just completely broke out of the cycle, the generational cycle, and I'm like, well, what I was in and what I grew up with, there's nothing wrong with, and it works for a lot of people. I just never, it worked for me. It never worked for me. So I felt and I listened legitimately. I said, I prayed about it, I meditated about it, and I just need some signs, something that I wasn't getting. And I just listened and I started using my intuition and I started doing my grounding and I started reading books. And then I started watching tarot videos like on YouTube. And then I started listening to people's testimonies and stories. And then I was like, okay, okay. And I was like, I'm learning lessons here. That's the entire thing about life, is learning lessons. And it's sad, but it's helpful as well. That's why you get a lot of people who are older, they are wise because they've been in so many situations. But it's just learning through situations and taking your pride and leaving it at the door, and understanding what life is about, understanding that you don't have to go into the same cycles as your family did. You can break out and be free. You can make the inner child happy. You can find your self-love, your label for yourself, becoming one with who you are, being happy with who you are, being okay with who you are, releasing a lot of guilt, fear, negative energies that can be attached to you, as it was with me from childhood. So I released it. And I was like, you know what? I'm creating boundaries in my life. That was the first step, creating boundaries. I'm not going to let people speak to me inappropriately or disrespect me. I give you the same amount of love and attention that you give me. I will meet you halfway. I'm never putting people on pedestals anymore, because that's one thing you have to do. When you start in this spirituality, you learn your shadow work. And what is shadow work? We're releasing a lot of past and healing, not healing for now, but healing so in the future, you won't have to go through similar situations, and understanding that cycles happen every 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 months, 10 years. You're breaking cycles, and you're also opening new doors. So for instance, I had to learn a big cycle that within my family, it's really sad, but and this is a big story of testimony of healing that I'll tell a lot of ladies, because in gentlemen, but mostly ladies, is narcissistic relationships, and how it damages you, but it also teaches you to shield yourself, to defend yourself, and to love yourself. And understand that there's reasons that you go through things like this. So for instance, I will tell a testimony real quick. Almost every single woman in my family has been in a generational toxic relationships. They never break out love. I was the first. So you know what? Everybody's like, how did you do it? How did you do it? Every day was horrible, but every day I was stronger. Every day I gained stronger. I gained my strength back, and then I gained my courage back, and then I gained my pride back, and then I gained my self-love back. And then what do? I help other people. And I always, some sayings that we don't hear enough as human beings, is that you are appreciated, that you are valid, that you are wonderful, that you are beautiful, that you are smart and intelligent, and that you can do this, that you are attracting positive energy, that you are attracting everybody who is meant to be in your life. But the people who are negative, the people who are toxic, who drain your energy, who are psychic vampires, you have to cut them out of your life. But it's your choice. You have a path, you have a destiny, you have free will. If you let people come into your life and try to hurt you or manipulate you, you have to stop it at some point. That's where wisdom comes in.
I love the fact that you're spreading that message, and I love that you broke the chain, sweetie. I love it. Kudos to you. You broke the chain. It's very hard. It's very hard. You just mentioned how hard it is. It's very hard. Could you say maybe just 3 actions that you took to continuously, when you said, I'm breaking this chain, at least maybe 3 actions that you took on a regular basis to maintain that you were done, to create those boundaries for yourself before you could even maybe verbalize them to somebody else. It's very difficult. I was the first in my family as well. It's very, very difficult. So were there any and it could be just affirmations, it could be physical, it could be, but at least 3, the first 3 things you did, because there's a lot of people that listen to this program that it would be valuable to them.
I'm gonna tell what I did. I
Go.
didn't pity myself. I
Mm,
didn't pity myself. I didn't beat myself up. That was one. I spoke good things like tomorrow will be a better day. Tomorrow will be a better day. What is meant for me is coming. What is meant to me is what is meant for me is meant to be. I had to get up physically and do stuff because, you know, in states of like anxiety or a low vibing like vibration, you just want to lay around and eat bad food. So one thing is to pick yourself up and walk outside. Let the sun hit your skin. Let the sun hit your skin and breathe. Do meditation. Breathe and say that I can do this. I can make it out of this. I'm stronger than what people think I am. I am a shield of light, and I'm a guardian for myself and others. And another thing is about being a role model. Would For any people that could be in a situation that is having to break free, would you want your generations below you to see you as, you know, the generations above you? Are you going to break the cycle for them as well? Are you going to be a role model for them as well? And any other people who's watching you?
yeah,
Because a lot of people don't think about that. Like, what about my nieces? I don't have children, but what about my nieces or nephews? Because they're going to have to break the cycle as well.
right.
It just runs in families. It runs in families. It's from trauma, from
Yeah,
childhood.
I agree that too. Like, because there's moments that you might be on your, you might be feeling bad about yourself and you're not getting yourself up. Like all the other days you're doing really good. And then all of a sudden you hit a day. And I will say that's usually then, in my opinion, the thought that then gets you up off the couch and
Mhm.
not be for yourself is you go, wait a minute, it's not all about me. I'm doing this also so those kids can see that it can be done. It can,
Yeah.
train it for them. So I think all of that, I hope all you beautiful stars heard um, what was being said there because it's definitely, and you know what? Not what you said was not that difficult. It seems so huge. It seems so big, but really very simple, very basic. You can do it. Yeah, I love that. I definitely do. And so post that, then I'm going to assume you kind of stepped more into your witchy, your sleepy witchy self, right?
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
my power. You cannot take this from me. You and working in the, like I said, service industries, I get a lot of older people say, "Why is your hair blue? Why is your hair green?" I said, "It makes the child within me happy." Is that wrong? That's what I say. Does it
What is-
offend you? Does it offend you? Because you cannot help what other people say. You can only help how you feel about it. And I'm happy. And you know, there's a movie like 13 going on 30, and they say I'm 30, flirty, and thriving. So yeah, that's my mantra. I'm 30, flirty, and thriving. And I've always been outside the box, and I think hair color in general makes my personality shine. And this is who I am. This is who I'm meant to be. I'm stepping more and closer to my higher self every day than I ever thought about 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I, you know, some aspects of my life, I feel like I need to push myself more and be determined more. But mentally and physically, I'm, I'm happy. I would be proud of myself as a child.
Oh,
Looking through childhood, I would be like, wow.
yeah. Ding, ding, ding. That's the line for today. That proud of yourself as a child, or your child self would be proud of you. That's wonderful. That's what, if anybody can pull anything away from this conversation here, I think that would be it. I think have your little self be proud of you. My gosh, what a gift. What a gift that would be. That is so lovely. Ladies and gentlemen, you beautiful stars, you beings of love and light, come visit with Dagny, Sleepy Witch Tarot. I'm going to say it again. TikTok, YouTube, go right now. If you didn't, we're about to finish up here. Go right now. Hit the like button here and go over there and subscribe if you came in late. So with Sleepy Witch Tarot here on YouTube. And see, here you go, stars. I gotta say something. I know that I average about at least 30 views every video. So I know you beloved stars that are 30 count. You can go and subscribe to her. That gives her an extra 30. That would get her close to breaking 100. And there's nothing like breaking the first 100 on YouTube. There's nothing like it. That feeling is great. So we can do that for her. So do that now, please. And then if you can, if you're local, April 29th, come speak with Dagny in person, get a reading, feel her energy. Tell her that your inner child is proud of who you've become, or that your inner child is at least working, you're working on it for them. That's wonderful. I love hearing that. That's such a good message to sound off on. Is there anything you wanted to say before we go, Miss Dagny?
And know that no matter what, for anybody's watching, just know that you're appreciated, that you are worthy, and you have to know your worth. You have to know the energy that you're willing to accept from other people, and be proud of yourself, because no matter where you are at what stage of life or what situation you're in, that you can make it out, and you can be a shining star just like anybody else.
That's right.
You have to know your worth.
Stars. You can shine, shine, shine. I love it. So, Miss Dagny, thank you so much. Sleepy Witch Tarot. Come see her. New Earth Energy Market. See, the title is New Earth Energy Market. We want this kind of energy with us. We want the great energy that Sleepy Witch has. So go watch her. Watch one of your signs, one of your elements, all you beautiful water, air, earth, fires out there, and just rock out with it, because she's a good reader, folks. She really is. So, Miss Dagny, I appreciate you. I hope all goes well between now and when we get to physically meet each other. I'm excited.
I know. Sounds like a plan.
Yes, ma'am. All right, beautiful stars. I will catch you on the flip side. Be good to yourselves. Bye.
Bye.